What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of What If. Today, this one's a lot of fun. I've talked about this one before. There have been conversations come up that I've had with some buddies, and this one is near and dear to my heart. Um, and again, we're looking at one that I would like NECA to do, and if they ever do it, there will be a video of me doing a happy celebration dance come out. I promise you. Mark my words, I said it right here today. Um, but today's What If episode is going to be what if NECA, and I'll explain why I'm choosing NECA for this, was to do none other than Ernest P. Worrell. Um, and here's why I'm going NECA. I've got a couple of Ernest movies with me today. Um, I'll go with NECA for the simple fact that we don't need a long line of figures. There's no need to go down and do a bunch of different characters. I mean, this is the Ernest movie to end all Ernest movies. Um, so if they did Ernest, there's no need to do all the kids. I mean, don't get me wrong. It would be cool. It would make a good, you know, pack of figures if they was gonna, if McFarlane was to do it or something. But not necessary. This is the main thing that would be necessary. And along with this, if they was to start doing Ernest, not only could they do your main one, Ernest Goes to Camp, along with accessories, Pokey the Turtle, so many great accessories he can come with. There is Comic Con variants, and other variants that they can work with when it comes to Ernest. They could do Ernest being wrapped in the gauze wrap when they spun him with the bus. They can do Ernest from Ernest Saves Christmas. They can do, of course, Ernest Scared Stupid Ernest, um, with Milo the dog. I believe that was his name. Uh, yeah, a lot of really good different ways they can do Ernest. And if they wanted to add to the line, I would say personally, like I said, I don't need the kids. And if you add these two characters, they go with most all of the movies because they were in most of them. But Jim and Eddie, the cooks from Ernest Goes to Camp, uh, who was, the entire movie trying to perfect eggs erroneous. um, so I think they would make a great 2-pack if you wanted to add to the Ernest line. Uh, but an Ernest P. Worrell figure from NECA would be fantastic. Because your Ernest figure is definitely going to appeal to the collectors and the fans like me that are into the 80s and 90s stuff. And there is a whole lot of Ernest movies. Okay, I went through them one time. Me and actually Crystal Clear 101 went through them, and oh, it was absolutely ridiculous how many Ernest movies they made. There's only really my favorite two, obviously, are these two. I do like Ernest Saves Christmas a lot. A variant from Ernest Goes to Jail would also be okay. That one's pretty good. From there, I wouldn't venture out into the other stuff. There's so much. Ernest in Africa. Ernest plays basketball. Ernest. Oh, I can't even remember them all. Okay. Puppy's got to chase her tail over there. If you can hear that. There's just so many but they're not. They like the good stuff is, and I know Ernest Scared Stupid is not one of the best, but I love it. But Ernest Goes to Camp is absolutely a classic. Uh, and I don't know anybody that wouldn't be like, "Oh wow, that's so cool! They did an Ernest figure." And this is actually this, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was actually filmed not far from where I live. So where I live now, anyway. Very cool. But I promise you, I would be ecstatic for NECA to do an Ernest figure. So, guys, do me a favor. Hashtag NECA in the comments, uh, and let's see if I can make that happen because that would be fantastic. And I get Ernest is a simple figure to make. It's blue jeans, a denim vest, a gray shirt, and his cap. And then the facial expressions, and then accessories. And like I said, there's tons that he can come with. There's all kinds of stuff because there's so much gag comedy in there. It really would be a good one for NECA. I think personally it would be very high up on my list of something I would like to see NECA do. Very high. Ernest P. Worrell from Ernest Goes to Camp. And like I said, with the different different other versions, the Ernest Saves Christmas one. And again, each time you look at the other Ernest movie, there's just not really any reason to include the other characters other than, like I said, Jim and Eddie. And if you include them, or you make a 2-pack of them, your accessories that come with them can be accessories that would complement your other variants of Ernest. So if you wanted to create something from Ernest Goes to Camp with the three of them, you're good. Or any of the other movies, you would be good because they can include enough accessories with a 2-pack of Jim and Eddie that you'd be fine. Um, Now, if some other company actually did pick it up and wanted to do, like I said, I could see, them doing I can't even remember how many kids it was in his little group, but um, would have been cool, it'd be like a 9 or 10 pack that got the whole kids and Ernest. They'd probably have to do that in like 3 3/4 inch size or something because it'd be very hard to pay for a 10 pack of 6 inch figures or 7 inch. At least on my end, it would be hard to pay for it. Um, However, I'd save this for a different episode of What If, but I always thought, and I've thought this since I was first saw this movie, this would have made this movie. They could have had a decent toy line with that movie. Uh, you know, Maybe that tail is getting after her today. In the same vein of, I say the Ninja Turtle figures from back in the day, the original ones. I'm trying to think of any other figure lines that would have worked out well in that style. But something of that size, and there was a lot they could have done with this because you had some bad guys. You had Ernest and all his friends. You even had a female character to drop in there. You have the old Indian character, and you have some of the counselors. You got the head guy. He been a very, made a decent toy. You got your mean counselors, Counselor Stennis. Plus, you got the two boys that were bullies for most of the movie, and then joined the other kids when they realized these guys are going to tear the camp down. Uh, but if you was to use that and make the figure line, the big thing, they have a playset / vehicle line they could add to that. Ernest golf cart, nice little vehicle to go with those figures. I'm sold on this line already. But here's the kicker. Here's the one that puts this over the top. This is why I wanted them to make a toy line when I was a kid. Uh, the bus. They took the bus and they turned it into a battle station, basically. All the different things they put on that bus. That would have made an amazing playset. Um, so if NECA wasn't going to give me a screen accurate, really awesome Ernest, I would want a company to pick it up and do that kind of figure line. And if that's how we're going to do it, then absolutely there's plenty of characters to do. But I don't see that happening. But it's not very far fetched to see NECA doing Ernest P. Worrell from Ernest Goes to Camp. So maybe down the road, maybe we get a anniversary sometime soon. I don't know when this movie came out. I can't remember. See if I can see a date real quick. I'll put the date up on the screen. But maybe when it comes time for an anniversary, they might hit us. NECA might start looking for the rights to do Ernest. I mean, they got out for goodness sake. But that's going to do it for this edition of Gladiator Toys. What if? Let me know in the comments down below if you would be excited for an Ernest action figure from NECA, or your ideas for a what if, and what you would like to see if they was to do Ernest. If you hadn't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on those notification bells. So much I got going on here, and you don't want to miss any of it. And make sure you check out my other channel, Gladiator Wrestling Podcast. That is the mother channel. If you're into wrestling and wrestling figures, that's the place to go. Come check it out. Show love over there. You're helping support both channels either way. So thank you so much for watching. Gladiator out.